Well, I got some of these heavy-duty mega clamps. I like these a lot better from Walker, made in the USA. A lot better than using these things. You know, first off, you know, it's actually joining a larger portion, and it comes with also a little bit of some kind of a sealant. You can see it right in here that you apply to the inside of the band. And what happens there is that, you know, it works better than actually making, if you use one of these, it's better than using two of these. Now, the kind I got here, this is like a step clamp. So what this is, you got a 2 1/4 inside diameter to a 2 1/4 outside diameter pipe, which is normally what you have. In other words, you have one pipe that slides into the other pipe. So one's going to be a little bit, you know, bigger than the other. That's exactly what you need when you're using one of these clamps. Now this is all stainless steel, and you know, the advantage of it is, you know, it's not going to rust out. You can reuse it. And when you go to take it apart later, you know how it is with these. First off, the bolts get rusty on them, right? So that's stainless steel. That's not going to rust out. But the other side of it is this. This part where the pipes fit into each other, that's where the rust starts. And it's like if you're trying to get the one pipe out of the other pipe, because say one pipe is broken or rusted out, and you're trying to pull it out from this other pipe, it's always right here where it's a pain in the ass to get it out. And I know you can take an air chisel and you can hammer it out and stuff like that, but if you use this type of clamp, this mega clamp, that part where the moisture can get in, where the seam is, where the one pipe goes over the other pipe, it's sealed from the elements. So it's not going to cause the one pipe that's over, you know, like in other words, like in this diagram right here, it's not going to cause the one pipe that's inside the other pipe to rust to the other pipe, because this is all wrapped around the outside. It's protecting it from the weather. Now, this is like for joining two pipes of the same dimension, exhaust pipes of the same dimension, that's handy too. I mean, yeah, you can weld it, or you can get another pipe that's, say you're doing a 2 1/4 or 2 1/2 inch outside diameter. You can get another pipe that's a 2 1/2 inch or 2 1/4 inside diameter, and slide it over each end, and then use a couple of these clamps. But why do that? This is a hell of a lot easier. And then when you go to, say you have two equal sized pipes, you know, if you go to take them apart, this is a lot easier to take apart. Those are going to come apart real easy. Now, another thing you could do, like if you have two equal sized pipes, I just want to add this on here, you could take a clamp and just keep clamping down the end of it and moving it down a little bit at a time, like maybe an 1/8 inch, and that's how you can shrink the one end of it so if one can fit inside the other. But I like these clamps because even though they're more money, they save you money in the long run, because you can reuse them a gazillion times. And even if this got stripped out in here, which I never stripped any of them out because I always put a little grease in there, but say it did, just get a couple stainless steel bolts. It'll, you know what I mean? You clamp it together. They don't strip out. They're good to go. So that was what I was waiting for to complete the exhaust system on this thing. I think they're well worth it. But you know, if you go into most, you know, every time I think I went into like pretty much every, you know, retail parts store, I get these online from Rock Auto, and every time I go in a parts store, I pretty much don't see this stuff, or they don't have the stuff I need. They always have plenty of these damn things. And usually I wind up using two of these anyway to make sure it's got a good seal. And yes, you could weld it, but then if you weld it, it's like, if you got to take your transmission down and do a clutch, then you're going to have to be cutting those welds, right? You know? So, see, there's advantage and disadvantage to the welding. Yeah, it's really good to keep your exhaust system nice and quiet, but then you got to take it apart. And if you're going to take the exhaust system down because you got to do some kind of other work, and then you're bitching out that you welded it. But if you're using these kind of clamps, like I said, that pipe that one went into the other side, the one pipe went into the other pipe. If you got to pull that pipe out, it ain't gonna, you know, it's just protecting it from rust right at that joint. In this case, if you're doing two the same size pipes, it's just gonna, you're just gonna unbolt it and it's gonna come apart, no problem. And these things are strong, man. They're strong as crap. If you don't trust them, just get some grade 8 bolts and freaking put them through there, man. But they're strong. They're strong. They don't come apart at all. They're very strong. Well, you can see the clamps on there. I put a little grease on a bolt, so I really torque them down. See, it's like cinched down to nothing. And I actually had to weld. It's just supposed to be another. I don't know. This thing, I had to piece it together, man. Pain in the ass. And we got a clamp up there, and we got another clamp over there because it was another adapter. But you know, the thing is, say for instance that one little piece rust out, the adapter, it's gonna be real easy to take those two clamps out because there's all stainless steel. Just put a 5/8 inch you know, socket on there, and you just unclamp them, cut away the adapter, and same thing, I could change out this catalytic converter if it ever gets all screwed up again. And if you ever got to do a repair on a pipe, those kind of clamps are pretty good because you can join, like again, like I said, you know, you don't even have to have the pipe inside the pipe. You can just have them, you can cut off a section of pipe and just put, you know, the same size pipe to the same size pipe when you're not using a step clamp. These damn things are strong as hell, man. So, thing is, I like about them, they don't rust, man. Look at these clamps down here, man. Those are rusty. I'm gonna keep them, but they're not broken. But pain in the ass, man. You know, you can heat up the bolts and stuff. So this should be, if it's not perfectly quiet, it's gonna be pretty damn close to it. Well, that's the quietest I ever heard this car, man. So not bad. Maybe I don't know if it's perfect, but it's enough that I ain't gonna get asphyxiated in the winter if I'm driving this around with the heater on. That's all I wanted to do. Not bad. It was cheap. A lot of work, but it was cheap. Panda cat. See him? He just came by. So yeah, it's got to keep doing a little bit of butt here and there on this car. It's just it's never done, man. I don't really want to do all of it, you know. Just cheap, too cheap. But I just keep it running. I don't take it all apart. I just do a little here and there. That's the way to do it because I can always use it anytime I want. I'm gonna do the master cylinder tomorrow. But if I had to use it tomorrow, I decided not to do the master cylinder because it's not really totally broke or nothing. I can just put the tires back on it, take the jacks off, and use it. That's why I don't like taking nothing all the way apart. See? Okay, cat. This guy. Mr. Shy Guy. He's a good old cat.